Hello everyone, Josh first back again, bringing you guys some more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, and today we're going to be talking about a new banner that is coming very soon right after the maintenance, and that is of course the Fox Sin of Green Adventurer Vaughn. Now, this unit was supposed to be in the coin shop, however, Global decided to go ahead, with Netmarble rather, to go ahead and release him as an actual unit. Now, there were leaks from Hideki, one of the bigger data miners for the game. When Global first came out, he actually leaked the images from those data mines, and it showed that this was going to be a possible banner. He didn't know what the release order was going to be. Now we know, it's been confirmed, that he is now going to be a banner unit. So the question is now, is he a summon or a skip? Now, if you're free to play, I'm going to say it right off the bat, I would probably say skip Vaughn. He is a solid unit. He kind of falls under the same jurisdiction with me anyways in regards to like Red Merlin, but I feel like maybe Red Merlin might have a little bit more longevity going forward down the road than this particular Vaughn. Now, this Vaughn is very good at farming, especially if some of you out there that are struggling to farm the blue book stage, the final boss, the dragon. He's going to be very good for that. He's going to be stacking a lot of debuffs on your enemy. Not really stacking, but he's going to throw a lot of debuffs at your opponent, which is going to be very helpful if you're running certain comps that like debuffs. He's a very self-efficient unit. He has 3,000 attack, 1510 at defense, and 40,270 at max level SSR. So these are SSR stats, not UR or limit broken stats. So keep that in mind. He is an attribute green HP. His race is human, so he will work with your Arthurs and your Hausers of the world. He will gain those passive buffs from those two units. He's also going to be pretty interesting to run alongside Jericho in PvP right now. That's definitely going to be a comp. If I do pull him, that's definitely going to be a comp that I definitely want to try out because I think it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, like I said, like same deal with Red Merlin. A lot of you ask, should you summon or skip if you're free to play? I would say that, he's worth summoning. He's definitely a solid unit, but if you're free to play, do you really need him? He's going to be pretty cool in PvP, but I don't know what the banner is going to be next week. It could finally be the Red Hell Broom. This is why I say, guys, don't follow JP, because these things happen. This was a coin shop unit on JP. Now it's a banner unit. And when I went and looked back at some of the leaks from Hideki from when the game first came out, there was also a banner that showcased Merlin and this Bond being together on one banner. So I don't know, maybe they're going to bring them back as a pair, which is really interesting to me and a little bit weird. There's also a banner that had Red Demon Meliodas with Gollin. That's another banner that they had that was in the data mine leaks. And then there was also Red Hell Broom with Green Merlin, which would be a banner if it does come. That is going to be a banner you're going to want to go really hard on, but that's still not even the biggest leak from those data mines when Global released, and that was Red Gother in his own banner, which is arguably one of the best, if not the best units that you're going to see on this game for a long time because of his rank up spam and of course his ult lowering ult gauges, which is just crazy. So he's just an amazingly busted character. And he was also a coin shop unit, as was Green Merlin, but those are all getting put into banners, seemingly, with the reveal here of Green Bond being in his own banner. So this is kind of confirmation. If you haven't seen it yet in the first couple weeks, 3 weeks, this game is completely changing how things are being released and how they're being introduced compared to JP. So again, this is what I keep saying. This is what I said day one, and people were giving me shit for it. I said, you cannot go by the JP side of the game for gotchas because they always change it up for Global. And here we are doing it again. So there you guys go. So when you go to look for the future of what might come and how it might come, you're going to have to take it 1 week at a time, because Netmarble has already decided they're going to market to us differently than they did for JP. And thus things are going to come in differently. So just giving you guys a word of advice and a little bit of a warning there when you're looking into going for banners, because we really do not know what is coming next. And because of that unknown, it's a little bit harder to judge based on that how good a banner is or isn't. But I do truly feel that if you're free to play, this might be a banner that you might want to skip, or at the very least, maybe go to the first pity, then stop. Don't go hard on this banner. Because like I said, he's going to be a very good farming unit. In PvP, it's still going to be questionable of how good he's going to be. He does have some team setups that he could do, but you know, depending on how the meta is going to shift, if we do go into that, you know, lockdown meta, if we do get Red Gother soon, who's already been data mined, if we do get the Red Hell Broom, which has also been data mined, you now have a very strong lockdown team using 2 red heroes, thus making Green Vaughn maybe a little bit irrelevant, or at the very least devalued heavily for PvP. And then there's also the case of if you guys are already climbing PvP pretty well and you're on the verge of maybe hitting champ soon, or you already like your position, then you might also not need him right now if your farm team is doing fine as is on other stages of the game. But don't get it twisted. He's not a bad unit. He's a solid unit. Not OP, not bad. He's right there in the middle of the road. Very, very good. Kind of the same thing I kind of said about Red Merlin, and I still kind of hold that to him as well. Both are very solid. I will be, of course, trying to go for this unit because I'm a YouTuber and I want to make content for you guys and see if there's any really cool strats that we can build up with him, especially using my Jericho, because you guys know I love to use Jericho as much as I can. So I definitely want to do some cool debuff strats with her and him. Could be fun. But for a farmer, he is amazing. He's probably going to be the best farmer, if not at the very least the second best farmer behind Hauser on global at minimum. So he's either going to be right there behind Hauser or above for farming. So if you guys are in need desperately of a solid farmer alongside your Hauser, and you don't feel that the SR units are cutting it for you, then you might want to be able to go in on him. And he does work with Arthur, which a lot of you do have, and a lot of you have invested into, so there's also that plus side as well. So hopefully that kind of helped you guys out. But for a free-to-play, I would say to either go to the first pity or skip. For whales and casual spenders, well, you guys know the rest. But what this bad boy does is he has Drain on his rank 3, inflicts damage equal to 250% of attack on all enemies, and life steals 30% of damage. Now, when I went back and I looked at his base stats, he doesn't really have all that much attack, and you can even see it there at the above up there. He's got 3,000 attack at level 50 SSR. Obviously, you're gonna be able to increase that through Awakening and etc. etc. But he's not gonna be, you know, pulling out those big numbers because his multipliers are pretty low. However, you can make good use of that lifesteal if you run him on attack set and crit damage. Now, his crit chance, I believe, is like 30% before Awakening, and his crit damage is 170. So you can easily try and push that crit damage to 200% and maybe even squeeze out 50% crit chance. And then he's going to be a really solid AoE on that skill 1, which is phenomenal. And you don't got to worry about building him with defense or HP because his Snatch allows him at rank 3, of course, to extort 50% attack and defense from all enemies for 3 turns. So you can actually make him very bulky. You can increase his attack quite a bit. Even with that increased attack, though, he's not going to be going crazy on damage, but it's still going to be very high. Just purely, I mean, he's, like I said, he's going to have low multipliers, but that extort kind of really makes up for that. So he kind of becomes a pretty solid DPS AoEer at that point. You know, it's just going to depend on your team setup. You build the right team around him, you put him on the right set, you're going to pull a lot out of him than you might think. So don't let those low multipliers completely distract you from him being a reliable DPS, because he can pull it off. You just are going to need a little bit of help with his rank 2s and rank 3s and try to get those off as consistent as possible. So that's going to be the main key with this Vaughn, is trying to get those high rank cards in play. Alright, now his ultimate move, if we use the combine with, of course, Green Jericho, inflicts damage equal to 400% of attack on one enemy, extorts 50% attack and defense for 2 turns. There's also one thing that you need to know about extort. If you kill an enemy that you've extorted from, he will lose that extort buff that he got from that enemy. Even if it says he extorts for 2 turns, if you kill the enemy that turn, you don't get that extort. Now, when he uses an AoE extort, and you kill one of those, he's just going to lose the extort from that one, but he'll still have the extort from the other 2 enemies still active until those enemies are also dead, or the duration of the debuff wears off, or of course if it's cleansed. And cleansing will be another thing that you need to worry about, because of course everyone's running around with blue kings, so there's that you might have to deal with. Merlin is very much in a PvP right now meta, so she could technically, you know, hit Vaughn pretty hard. But if Vaughn already got some extorts off, he might be able to survive that. But he's obviously going to get screwed over by freezes. So again, it's going to be a lot of mixing and matching, trying to get this guy to work in PvP right now. But in farming, he's going to be excellent. So there's no doubt about that. It's just PvP. We're going to have to try and see what we can do with him right now. So it's interesting. And since he does do a lot of like debuffing with defense down and stuff like that, like I said, he's going to be a really cool combo to perhaps run with Jericho. Not just, you know, use as a combined attack with a Link, but maybe even run him alongside her with like an Arthur. That would be a very cool, interesting team. Or you can run him alongside Merlin and King and have Jericho coming off of the bench, perhaps, or Arthur coming off of the bench. There's a lot of different scenarios and combos that you could try to set up with this team that I'm definitely going to try out if I get him, that is. So, very, very cool. And then his passive, it's actually pretty bad. His passive really ain't going to do too much. Decreases all enemies' HP-related stats by 10% at the start of the next turn if the hero doesn't take damage. Limit 5 times reset upon taking damage. Obviously, he's going to take damage. So, if you run him in like a legit freeze team with King and Merlin right now, and you get very lucky and you can go maybe 1 or 2 turns without him being hit, then you have a really good setup because then you're decreasing all the enemy's HP-related stats by 10, 20, maybe even 30% if you're lucky. But I don't see that going off consistently, so I don't really consider that a consistent passive. So, therefore, I'm not going to call it a good passive. If you can get it off, it's good, but how often are you going to do it? That's the problem. So I'm just not really feeling the passive all that much. But his skill set in general, very good for farming, could potentially be very good in PvP, depending on your setup and who you're going against right now. And again, when it comes to should you summon or should you skip, again, if you're free to play, I would not do it, to be honest. He doesn't seem, you know, like one of those broken units you really want to go for. But if you guys are in need of some summoning materials, you know, like, do you need some more stamina? Do you need some coins for the coin shop? Do you need some SSR dupes, perhaps, to get, you know, somebody from the coin shop, which, of course, is now going to be Blue King. So now we can go get Blue King dupes from the coin shop. He's going to be there permanently now after this update. Then I can see you guys going into maybe, like, the first pity and see if you get lucky. But I wouldn't go too much deeper than that because there's already been data mine leaks for global, not JP, for global, that he might return again in a banner with Merlin. And there's also a high chance that since it's just a raid-up banner, he's probably going to be thrown into the general banner anyway, kind of like Red Merlin was. So there's all that, guys. But hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Little update. Definitely some news here going on. I'm not surprised that he's a banner at all because I kind of called this a week ago and I said, you know what? They're probably going to put all the coin shop units in a banner. And here we are. The first one is in there. Green Merlin will probably be the second one, and then maybe Red Gother will be next, or maybe Red Gother will be before her. Who knows? But it seems like they're all going to be coming in banners on global side of things. So there you guys go. Have a good one as always, and I'll catch you guys later after the update. Until next time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, tick notifications. Join us in the Discord description below. Like the video if you did, if it was helpful, and comment below if you guys are going to be summoning for Vaughn or not. And I'm going to catch you guys all in the next one. As always, peace.